Hey everybody, I want to help y'all out a little bit. If you've got a vehicle and you're unlucky enough to have this written on the vehicle or one of these symbols, you're going to probably have transmission problems and wiring problems, and it all comes about where your car is shifting but it's not going into all its gears. It's called limp home mode. Car might be throwing all kinds of computer codes dependent on the year. However, this is the problem right here. Now, it's right here on the transmission, mounts kind of on the top for the front wheel drive 604 and 606 style transmissions. Now, this one I am doing something special to. I've just changed this out, and if you're going to do this in a Dynasty, a Spirit, a Sundance, any of those type of vehicles that have this, and some of the Voyagers, the Dodge Caravans, that is most likely your problem. Here's what the item looks like removed from the vehicle. Now, this is, and it says very plainly, do not repair. Well, there's a good reason for it. It toasts itself. Now, this is multiple valves, solenoid control that open and close and allow your gears to change. So if your vehicle is driving around, it won't go out a second. If you push it real hard, it might go into third or fourth. That is most likely your problem. That and the contacts in these, they get nasty. So the replacement for this, I'm going to put a link in the bottom of my video. Look below the video where it says description, my name, video channel, right there about where you're going to subscribe at. Good idea. Go ahead and subscribe so we'll get more of these. Now, I'm going to give you a link that's got all this. You don't have to buy these separate parts. I've tried out numerous of these from different vendors. I found one supplier that his works every time. When you do this job, you're going to want that, even if you pay $5 extra. So now I've removed my battery box, which was fairly simple to do. Yours might have things connected to it, and just do your best to get your battery box out. It makes sense if it's on this side of the car. Some of them very rarely would have it on that side of the car because, well, Canadians, they're kind of goofy and they might have built some of the cars. So it down here on the transmission comes forward with part of its body. This will mount right on it with 3 bolts, 10 millimeter. They're very long, so you want to remove your hoses. This is your hose for your return and your fluid going to your cooler. Right here, my finger's on it. I'll shine a light on that so we can see better. Right down there, in between there, you see that little unit right there. That's a speed sensor, and right here is another speed sensor. I've got them both unplugged. And you're going to want to replace these two, and I'll put a link of where to get these. I have gone through lots of these until I found somebody that actually didn't sell garbage. Now, these have magnets in them, see that? And the magnet in them picks up another magnet that sends out a pulse and determines your transmission is synchronizing itself so that it can shift. High and low speed, in and out speed, whatever you want to call them. So look for the link along with the link to that solenoid pack and get these two. Now you'll notice here that these two speed sensors are different. I want you to look. They might not look identical. Their tips might look a little different when you pull them out. They've changed them over the years, but the threads will not be. Coarse thread on one, finer thread on the other. Be aware of that. Don't try to screw those up. When you get yours out, you can then do what I'm doing, because one of the #1 failures with a Chrysler product is its wiring. I am adding a ground wire using one of the bolts on the unit. There's a bolt there, one there, and this one. And I have just put the bolt back in and added a ground wire. And please do not over tighten. They will snap off in that aluminum. Just good and firm. If it leaks, touch it again, but very firm, and that's it. So now I've got a ground wire. I've got an 8 gauge that's going to come up from that body of that transmission, fish behind everything, and when I put new battery terminals on this silly thing, I will have additional ground added. And since the electronic control unit, the brain for the transmission, uses this ground on this car, this is a Spirit. Dynasties are the same, Sundances, all that. Since it uses this ground straight into the body like that, what I'm doing also with it is I'm going to be adding an additional ground with a 10 gauge wire to this. Okay, now clean these up with a brush. Take you a brush, you know, and clean them up the best you can. Check your wires, make sure they're not coming apart or coming loose. If they are, put you some new terminals on it. Now, this wire will go back to the battery. 3 of the problems with the Chrysler. Dumb sensors go bad. That module right there goes bad. And ground. Your engine strap, which is located on this car, is right over here, goes to the firewall. But if you're wondering why you have a Chrysler that's running rough, loosen a bolt up right over here. Loosen a bolt up right over here on your intake, and put you a ground wire to your battery, and all of a sudden your car starts idling smooth, or just do it with a jumper cable. It's because Chryslers corrode. All of them. Dodge, Chryslers, that's why the Dodge pickup trucks doors fall off. I mean, they corrode. So this is telling you how to solve your problem with a transmission that will not go into gear. It drives fine, but then all of a sudden it starts acting up where it will be in limp home mode. First gear, second gear, nothing. If you push it real hard, arc some things together, torque the engine a little bit, it might go into third. This one would do that. So always replace with the best fluid. These are picky as hell about their fluid. And make sure you replace the 2 sensors for your 2 speed sensors. Look for the links for all these different things, and I'll see what I can do about putting them all in there so it makes your job a little easier. And be sure, move all the crap out of your way that's going to be in your way. Zip ties, strap it, whatever, because this comes out, it sucks to get out and get it rotated and out of there. So be sure you just go ahead and start with removing everything out of your way, plug it off, put pencils in your coolant return lines for your transmission fluid so they don't leak everywhere. And you can get this job done yourself. Do not pay $2,000 to Scamco, transmission scare. They are not worth dealing with. This only run you about 120 bucks. Fix it yourself. All right, man. Or sell it.